Although she recycles her wardrobe at some point, she's always effortlessly stylish, isn't she?
Minimal recycling.
Yeah.
I think that's where all the money went. The stepmother's always bemoaning she doesn't have enough money to function on. I think it's because she's spent it all on her hats and gloves and shoes and then on Cinderella. But no, the costumes were fabulous. And I think working with someone like Sandy Powell, when the conversation grows into these incredible silhouettes and these amazing fabrics and bright colours, then it gives you a sense of the scale of performance. So you have to try and inhabit those silhouettes.
Yeah, it's true. It does inform the character.
Yeah, and it's great when you have costumes, when you have clothes that sort of have I don't know. They to me they spoke of that wonderful cinematic history that costumes had in the 40s with the incredible shoulders and they're almost masculine in a way, but then she had a nod to the period with obviously the skirts. So I love that inner line, and then
Beautiful.
yeah.
I loved it too. I was like fangirling on it all the time.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, the challenge in those characters, that you must enjoy playing them so much because they're so effortlessly wicked, that you have to just a little bit restrain yourself because she does need to show vulnerability. So how much were you thinking of tone?
Well, obviously, the stepmother's a foil, a narrative foil for the journey that Cinderella's on. And, they have distinct scenes from which to get sort of her story across. And what fascinated me was what makes Cinderella beautiful, apart from the fact that Lily James is playing her and she is gorgeous, but also what makes someone ugly and or wicked.
Yeah.
We refer to as the wicked stepmother, not the ugly stepmother.
No, because it has to be said you're gorgeous in it. So.
But I think it's the compromises that she's made and the jealousies that she holds, and whereas Cinderella has made the positive, outward-looking, generous choices, the stepmother, in her way, has made the sort of the close-minded, selfish, fearful choices, and she's imparted that way of looking at the world. Probably a realistic way of looking at the world for a woman in her position, that you have to graft yourself onto a man and get everything out of everyone you can in order to shore up your own position. And Cinderella's sort of the antithesis, so that as Cinderella becomes increasingly beautiful and positive, it enrages the stepmother, and she becomes increasingly jealous and ugly. And I think it's the interior ugliness and the interior beauty that the film really celebrates in Cinderella, and in the ugliness in the stepmother.
It's true. For you, it's just another step of how eclectic your career has been. So far it's been so fascinating for you. Great awards, great parts. What resonates the most for you? The directors, the stories, the awards themselves? Is there a sense of priority?
It depends, really. I mean, it's often the way a project will come across your table. It comes in different ways. Sometimes it's from the script, sometimes it's the director, and sometimes it's the story. And in this instance, when I heard that there was going to be Disney were looking at reinventing their own classic, which doesn't often happen, at a studio. When something is deemed, has the imprimatur of it as a classic, it's left alone, put in the box. And I really, so my first interface with it was through Ali Shermer, one of the producers, and then Ken came on board. And he's a man who innately understands how to retell a classic as if it's happening for the first time. Look at his Hamlet, and all of the wonderful roles he's inhabited himself as an actor. And when Sandy Powell was doing the costumes and Dante Ferretti was doing the sets, you knew that it would have a grandeur, but with a sort of a witty, unique twist. And so that was really exciting for me.
Absolutely. You're just about to give an Oscar. You received one last year. What do you think of the performances?
If I'm generous, I'll give it away. I may otherwise just go out the back door and suddenly have a third one.
Your triplets are good.
It's all care and no responsibility. I think showing up the year after. And it's also really humbling, because at the time you can think, wow, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. And then you look at the next year with an incredible suite of extraordinary performances again by women, an amazing, amazing film. And I'm really pleased to be there too with, you know, a small part of How to Train Your Dragon, you know. So, yeah.
Do you have favourites?
Do I have favourites? Of course. Look, there's so many incredible performances by women. I think what Marion Cotillard has yet again delivered an extraordinary performance, and I think Julianne Moore's performance, not only in Still Alice but in the Cronenberg film, was remarkable. But, you know, there's also amazing performance by Mia Wasikowska in there. So, I mean, there's many that also haven't been recognised.